Hi, and welcome to Mark's Motivational Podcast for this Tuesday episode, Authors Tuesday. So I'm delighted again to be joined by a great guest here tonight, Sylvia Melton, an author all the way from America. So I'm delighted to have Sylvia on today. So you're very welcome along today, Sylvia.
I am very happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, you're very welcome along. So we'll probably start off the podcast if you want to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your books that you've written, please.
Yes, of course. My name is Sylvia Melton. I am originally from Mexico, and I live in the United States with my husband and my 4-year-old child. And I started writing books because I like to make up stories to tell my son, and I found that the market didn't have the kind of stories that I wanted to tell him about the lessons that I wanted him to learn. So started jotting down the ideas that I wanted him to learn about and kind of wrote some outlines to go along with those ideas. So this first one that has out, Spread Your Wings, is about having courage and trying new things and just kind of putting yourself out there. And even if you mess up, it's about having fun while you do it.
That's great. That's great advice for anybody, like children, anybody. That's really good. I love that because I can see the name of your book there. Looks great. Spread Your Wings. Have you written that? Is that long out? Have you written that long ago?
No, well, I wrote it a year ago. It took me a year to basically find the courage to hit publish because there's always this like little like, is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? And I'm like, I'm going to just hit publish and see what happens. And it's been well received, and I've got 2 more in the same series ready, but I'm not ready because I haven't hit publish, but they're in the works and with the same characters. And so you get to know the characters, and I like that. But yeah, this one is new, and it's scary, and it's fun, and it's exciting. And when my son was 2, he had no fear. He would just jump in, and it's now that he's getting like, I don't know if it's social or scared, or he's not as daredevil-y as he used to be. So that's where this one came from.
Great. Yeah, you get some great inspiration from your kids, don't you? Like myself, you get some great stories, and it's really good. And your website as well looks great as well. Do you want to give the name, mention the name of your website? Because I'm going to share your website and your books, the links to your books on the show notes later on as well. So, do you want to tell the listeners the name of your website? I think it's cool.
Sure. I started because I'm full of ideas. So I'm hoping that this Happy Books for Kids will have different kinds of books for small kids, and hopefully they'll grow up as my son grows up, and I see like what he likes and what speaks to him, that they'll have be more. So I did it kind of general on the Happy Books, and these birds live in Happyville, and yes, I'm really into being happy.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great way to be.
I'm sorry.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I love that your daughter helped you with your cover.
Yeah, it was great. Like, it's great to get them involved, isn't it?
Yes.
In your writing, because she'll always have that to say, "Oh God, I made that cover." So that's brilliant.
It's kind of like immortalizing them, their art, their ideas, and yours combined, and it's like a joint project, a family project.
Yeah, exactly, Sylvia. Yeah, and have you always been a writer yourself? Have you always when did it start for you, the journey?
I honestly, writing has never been my strong suit. I just have a crazy imagination, and I write it all down, and then I say, how do I word this better? And I talk it out. I'm more of a illustrator, actually. So I'm a graphic designer, and I make stuff for commercials and websites and stuff like that. And then my son just inspired me to start writing. So hopefully I'll get better and better at
it. Yeah, no, it looks brilliant. So where can people buy your books at the moment? Are they on Amazon and all the usual?
Yeah, right now they're on Amazon and on my website, and I'm looking into getting some hardback. It's only available in paperback right now. But I'm also working on one that might be a pop-up, but
great.
try to get the right suppliers for that.
Yeah,
It's hard when the money pricing and all of that comes. You're a one-person show, you know.
Yeah. So you've obviously self-published the book. You self-published it, Sylvia, did you?
Yes, I've self-published this. I pitched it to a couple of people, and I guess I got impatient. Everything takes too long, and I was just like, you know what? Let's just see what happens. Maybe somebody will be like, I love it. We want her to make ideas for us.
Yeah, but I think it's a great way of doing it, because you know, it's getting so popular now, the form of self-publishing, isn't it, Sylvia?
Yeah, it is, and it's getting easier with you know, illustrators and everybody working freelance. You can make your ideas and your dreams come true more easily, and I love that for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. That's great, Sylvia. So thanks a lot for sharing your website and your book with us tonight. That's brilliant. And also, have you ever, when you're in your writing, have you ever kind of, how could you say, hit a metaphorical wall with your writing, and like a writer's block? Have you ever experienced that, and how did you deal with that yourself?
Yeah, so I have different formulas for the Happy Birds books versus my other books. The Happy Birds books kind of follows a formula so that the kids can follow along with like the climax, the problem, another problem, and overcoming. So what I do is before I start writing, I write all the problems that they could possibly have on the right in regards to the subjects. Like if I'm doing courage, like are they scared? Are they feeling peer pressure? You know, I write them all on the right side, and then I try to incorporate them as I write the story. But sometimes the story goes somewhere else when you start writing it and you start diving into other themes. Like I started writing one about gender roles, it ended up about being helping no matter what, like boy, girl, you need help with cooking, you need help with the mechanics, you need help, you just need to get it done. So it ended up being more about pitch in when you can than it ended up being about this is a boy role and this is a girl role. So I like that sort of organic development.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good. Yeah, because you know, like you say, like boys and girls do the same things, like, you know, with cooking and all that kind of stuff. So that's great. Yeah, that's really good.
I do love that about this generation, that everybody knows how to do everything, and I think we all should. I don't, but I should learn how to change my own tire. I tried to take the bolt and nuts off, but I couldn't. I just don't have the upper arm strength. I had to jump on it, but you know, we all have to do things. We all have to figure things out.
Yeah. Because I struggle with putting the tire in as well, so don't worry. I struggle with changing the wheel. Putting the wheel back on, changing the wheel.
Okay, that makes you feel better.
Yeah. No, that's great. And like, can I just ask you, do you have a kind of a routine that you follow yourself, Sylvia, with your writing? Like, what I mean by that, like, do you kind of schedule it to do a certain amount of words a day, or what way would you do it yourself?
For me, I feel like an inspiration and it's not at a certain time, or it just comes, and then I know that I'm in the zone, and I just write as many ideas as I can down, so that later when I see my notes, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good idea. So it's like the zone that comes over me. I am not very organized in regards to like I must write this much this time, but I have been writing more just because my son tells me to tell him a story at night, and then I forget what I told him. And I was like, that was a good story. So I've been trying to write it down after he goes to bed. Like, I did good that time.
Yeah, because you're dead right there, because I have the same thing when the stories just come to you when you're having a laugh with your kids, getting them to bed. So that's brilliant, isn't it?
One thing I do that might help people is I start telling my son a story, and then I pause for him to fill in the blanks. And sometimes it goes into a crazy route, and I like it. Sometimes I'm like, I think about that. Yes, we should go over the rainbow down the, you know. So you find inspiration everywhere, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. I love that. That's brilliant to get him involved, like, because he's making the story with you there. Like, I think that's something really special about that. That's really good. Really, really cool.
Yeah, and it helps with their imaginations too,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
helps them learn to
Mm-hmm.
create also.
Exactly. And how did you find, like, with the mad last 2 years with your writing, like with the pandemic, have you found a struggle yourself, like with your inspiration and your writing?
No, actually, it came from that because
Okay.
he was home all the time, and I
Mm.
had to find ways to entertain him and work. And my husband's here too, so we had to switch on and off. And so it all came from there. You realize that what you do from 9 to 5 isn't cutting it, and you want something a little more use of your brain.
Mm.
And that's where it came from, is just needing to escape almost and
Yeah,
create
yeah.
different worlds.
Because it's funny you should say that, because so many people kind of started new things during the pandemic that they probably wouldn't have done. So that's a great story, and delight it's working out well for you as well. So I'm looking forward to sharing your books and your website on my show notes as well. For hope everybody can check them out because they look great, really really cool. So can I just
Thank
ask
you.
you? You're very welcome. It's really good. And who would you say inspired you? Like, is there any kind of authors you could mention that inspired you in your writing yourself, Sylvia?
um I personally love, I know it's probably everybody's, but J.K. Rowling, to make up an entire world with an entire different, I just love authors in general who can take you somewhere else with the pages, or where you can't, you're up till 4 a.m. reading because you can't put it down because they just flow so well. I mean, I love all of that. And
Mm.
I love how the rhymings of Dr. Seuss and how whimsical it is, and my son really loves those, and he remembers those. And so I am not a good rhymer, but I'm trying. I'm trying to
Yeah.
make it so that it's more enjoyable for him. And he really likes the silly ones like um, Mother Bruce and Don't Eat Your Classmates. And so
Yeah.
it's really fun. I get to relive my childhood through the books that he chooses, because we go and have mommy Sun dates and go to a bookstore, and we each pick a book to read.
Oh,
And
great.
that's how we discover new authors and new illustrations and new inspiration.
Mm. And yeah, it sounds great. Sounds great. And you're talking earlier on. You do a lot of illustration yourself. Have you illustrated your own book as well, Sylvia?
I did not illustrate my own book because if I did it, it would never be done. I'd
Okay.
continuously tweak it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think for me, I do some cartoons, but I do more realistic kind of
Mm.
illustrations. I like
Yeah.
portraits and that kind of things. But when I tell someone my idea and they give, and my illustrator, and I'm going to plug her, Irina Ogneva, she's
Mm.
from Russia. She's amazing. I just tell her my idea and she comes back with such wonderful work that I'm just like, perfect, print. And if I had
Brilliant.
done it, I'd be like, I
Yeah.
don't like that eyelash. I need to move that eyeball.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think I'm my own worst critic, as I think we all are. So
Mm-hmm.
give it to
Yeah.
somebody else.
That sounds great. That sounds really good. And could you just show people the picture of the book again, please, Sylvia? For
Oh, I'm
um,
sorry. Well, I have this one. This one's the one in Spanish, and you can see here that this is my copy. This is,
okay,
I also made it in Spanish. So this is Spread Your Wings, and that'll be out in hopefully December, the Spanish version. And then this is the
okay.
next one, but I'm changing the cover, and it's called The Best Big Sister.
Oh,
And
very good. Very
this
good.
one's the one I told you about. It started off as
Yeah.
gender roles, but it's now about her learning to do everything she possibly can because her little brother's coming, and she wants to teach him everything that he needs to know about building a nest, fishing,
Mm.
flying. So she's learning it all.
Yeah. So there's lots of great messages in your books as well. So I love that. That's brilliant.
Well, my most important thing in raising this child is for him to be kind.
That's a big important big best message of all for children, isn't it? Really is.
Yeah, we know we succeeded if they're kind and they feel loved.
Great. No, Ray, the books.
Oh, well, my sister happens to be a kindergarten teacher, and I had her read the book for our YouTube channel so that she can follow along, because she knows, like, this is the part where I would engage the children and count the birds or count the butterflies or analyze the bird's face to see what they're feeling. See, he looks sad here. And so my sister Daniela has been my right hand in creating these, because she works with children.
Oh, great. Yeah. So can you get an audio are you thinking of putting an audio version of the books as well as the book?
Well, we don't have an audio version, but could be our next step. But we do have a read along. You could read along with the YouTube channel.
Oh, very cool. That's really good. Because I think that's a nice, because they're very popular nowadays, the kind of audio books, aren't they? They're kind of even for people just driving along to work or, doing different things, just put them on the earphones, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know quite how to do that yet. Like I said, I'm a one-man show.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I got some actor friends. Maybe they'll be willing to read some parts.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, so it's really good, really cool. So do you have any favorite movies yourself as well, Sylvia? Do you have any favorite films?
My favorite movies, my favorite children's movies, or my favorite movies for myself?
Movies, in general, yeah.
Well, it's Christmas time, so right off the top of my head, I love The Grinch. The Jim
what a film!
Because it has a lot of humor that you have to like find, and I really enjoy watching that one in particular during Christmas.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, no, it's a great film. I agree with you 100% there, Sylvia. It's really cool.
What's your favorite?
Well, Christmas movies would be The Grinch as well.
Really?
Definitely The Grinch. Yeah, definitely, it's great. We're trying to find that one for Christmas.
My son and I have recently been going to Encanto, which is the new Disney movie, and that is really good. And I am not a big crier, but I was crying in that movie.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, sounds great. What's it called again?
Encanto. Encanto. It's about a magical family that has powers. It's out right now.
Cool. We'll have to have a look for that.
Send me money for that.
Yeah, I think we're in Ireland. They come out a couple of months after you guys, so we'll probably have that after Christmas. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't realize it, y'all. Okay. Well, Disney, when it comes out, Encanto, go see it. It's so feel good.
Yeah.
I love feel good.
Yeah, me too. Great. So probably a couple of weeks later, not months, but weeks. Yeah. And do you listen to any music when you write? Do you ever listen to any music when you write? Do you ever find that good? Or
I can't, because then I start to listen to the music and jam instead of thinking.
Yeah.
I might put the TV on, something I actually don't want to watch, so I have some noise in the background. But anything with a good plot, it'll distract me. So what about you?
Yeah, I've only started listening to music while I write, but not like no lyrics, just background music. I find it does help. Like I've only started over the last month or two, but it's different. It's I find it you kind of get in a kind of a flow state. I find anyway when I'm listening to music and writing. So I suppose everybody's different. Yeah.
Well, I haven't tried without lyrics, so maybe I should try that.
Good. Yeah, and maybe leads nicely on to the next question. It's a motivational podcast, Sylvia. So, if you could kind of give, in a sentence, to keep people motivated in their writing, what advice would you give them?
Oh, just do it. Even if you're doing it wrong, just do it, because you can fix it later. There's heavy erasers on the back of pencils for a reason. Put it out there, get the feedback, and then change it if you need to. But I think once you put it out there, the pressure is gone. So I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyway, and I think you should too.
Yeah, that's great advice. Really good. Yeah, yeah. Because a lot of people put things off. So just that's great advice. To just give it a go, and if you don't give it a go, you never know, as you
That's
say.
right. You can
Yeah,
always
yeah.
retract and say, okay, I fixed the comment that everybody saw that I didn't, and then you just fix it. But you got it done, and it's just self-rewarding, and it's fulfilling to finish something and have it out there.
Yeah, big time. No, listen, I really appreciate you coming on tonight, Sylvia, and I'm looking forward to sharing your website and your books as well. So make sure you send over the names of your books so I can put them up on the show notes as well.
Sure. I only have that one published, but as soon
Yeah,
as I do more, I will let you know.
brilliant, brilliant, and maybe come on again and we can promote your next book.
I would love to.
Yeah, yeah. So that was Sylvia Melton, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining me again, Sylvia. And I wish you all the success in your future writing and the book you have out.
Thank you so much, and I wish you the same.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks again. So thanks for tuning in to today's podcast, Mark's Motivational Podcast, Authors Tuesday. So stay tuned for another podcast on Thursday. Take care of yourself. Thanks, Sylvia. Thank you.
Thank you.